Hello guys, welcome to Simchimba Poultry Farm, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any essential lesson that we are teaching here. And today we've got a special topic that we need to talk about. So if you are new, make sure you subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, you already know what it is and you already know what we usually do here. So today we have a very important topic, which is concerning about sudden death of broiler beds. So we want to talk about what causes sudden death. You find like you from your poultry, just a few minutes, everything is okay in your poultry room. When you enter, you saw the beds were all fine. They were all moving in a good manner. You check them all, but the moment you just move out, maybe just a few minutes, maybe about 5 minutes. The moment you go back again, you find like there's a bed which is dead, that has flipped over. It has died looking up. You find like the beds which die, like, they're just like this. You understand? Every poultry farmer has experienced that. So I want to address that, and I want to make sure like people reduce that sudden death to happen to their beds. So what usually happens most of the time is that, if you take a look here, these are my ventilations. So during brooding time, my ventilation are like this. I have a small access where air can go out and can come in, which is a good thing. So what usually happens is like when you experience sudden death, like they flip over, what usually happens is that there's you are not supplying enough oxygen in the poultry room. So as a result, you find like the beds start dying. So what usually happens is like, if you are not supplying enough oxygen for the beds, what usually, that's what usually happens. You experience sudden death. So some poultry farmers, even during brooding time, you need to make sure you have where air can come in and go out. Fresh air needs to come in, then the other air need to come out. So sometimes you find like you are not supplying enough oxygen for your beds, like the air is not coming in. So when you come in, you yourself, you can't tell like there's a low percentage of oxygen in my room. So as a result, you find like your beds start dying. That's what you experience. You find like your beds are dead. Just a few minutes, I'm from the poultry, but how come my beds are dying? Yes, because you've crossed everywhere. And most of the time, the reason why most poultry farmers cross everywhere where air can come in and go out is because they're trying to keep the brooding room warm. But no, you can't keep all the holes in the poultry room during brooding that should be closed. No, because that air, sometimes you can find like the charcoal that you've put in, if you're using charcoal, that hair, the hot hair, you find like they keep on exchanging the same hair, which is not good. That's why you need to have your ventilation opened, whereby hair can come in and go out. You have supply enough oxygen for the beds to avoid your beds from having sudden death. So secondly, the other thing is like, mostly what usually happens is like people give like most of them poultry farmers, they give excess glucose. When you give too much glucose to your beds, they start experiencing sudden death. Secondly, the other thing is what usually happens is like even the texture of your feed can cause sudden death to the beds, because some of the feed, they've got high supply of carbohydrate, which is not good for your beds. So you need to make sure your beds are having a softy, good quality feed, because you'll find like they start having sudden death, which is not good, which means there's a lot of carbohydrates in your feed. Then the second thing is like, and this is the most important part, mostly this sudden death, most of the time it happens when when there's a rapid growth in the beds. What usually happens is like the heart and the internal organs of the chicken cannot fully support the rapid growth of the chicken, which is not good, which usually happens when people start using boosters. They use boosters at the earlier stage. I'm not telling anybody to stop using boosters, but I'm telling you, like, if there's a rapid growth, because people, they want to have an expected weight at a shorter period of time, they start giving them boosters, they start giving them a lot of medication so that those birds should grow fast, so that they can sell fast without having any challenges. So what usually happens, actually you are creating a challenge because the body of the chicken can't support the rapid growth. So you find like the internal organs and the heart, they can't fully support the rapid growth of the chicken. So that is one of the things that usually causes sudden death. So make sure you use, if you are using your boosters, just use them at a good period of time whereby at least it won't cause sudden death. And the other thing is, when you are continually giving your birds feed, they're just eating and eating and eating. That's why there's a dark time whereby you need to shut down. Your birds need to eat at least at a certain period of time. For example, maybe first week they eat for 23 hours. So that is essential. That can be helpful to avoid the sudden death. And then the other thing is, actually the solution to that is maintain. You need to maintain, at least according to the time, how your growth should be on your birds. Don't overfeed them, don't over give them drugs, boosters, those which people who use boosters, they don't overgive them, because you start experiencing sudden death. So make sure you maintain the growth rate. You are able to tell, like, okay, my birds are growing according to a good time. And I think you as a poultry farmer, you need to be aware, like, okay, and mostly check on the dark times which you are given by the supplier of your beds. They will give you, like, okay, at this stage, at this age of the beds, they need to eat for 2 so hours. At this stage, so hours. Follow those guidelines so that you won't experience sudden death, whereby, because sudden death, they usually happen most of the time, maybe from day 1, day 2 to day 3. Sometimes they go further up to the day of selling your beds, which is not good. So make sure you maintain the growth of your chickens. Maintain that, and make sure there's enough oxygen coming in and the other one going out. So make sure the management of your room is okay. Secondly, biosecurity, make sure everything is intact, it's on point, which is you're going to have the expected weight, and you won't have a lot of mortalities. And every poultry farmer doesn't want to have a lot of mortalities. We all want to have a good weight. So what usually surprises most of farmers, you just go out, then come in, you find like the bird has died. So those are the reasons. So make sure you maintain the growth, oxygen. You maintain also the glucose during the first days, up to 7 days you maintain, so that you won't have to lose birds through sudden death, which is not good. So guys, I hope this information was helpful for everybody who's watching, for every subscriber, and for those who are new, I hope it was helpful. So make sure you subscribe, and if you've liked the information that I've shared, make sure you click on the right button, and then I'll be able to see like what people have liked this. Then if you have a question, you can go to the comment section, then I'll check out, then I'll see, okay, then I'll respond according to the information that I have. So for sudden death, this was the information I have, and I hope this information was helpful, and I hope you keep on watching and you keep on commenting and liking the videos, and make sure you comment, you tell me if the information was essential and was important and was helpful to you. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure you follow the guidelines of poultry farming. Thank you guys.